Mic check. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Good, good, good. My name is Glenn Boyd, and welcome. And thank you all for showing up tonight. Don't blame me. Blame Troy Henry for the time on a Friday night. That's Troy, not me. I also want to let everyone know that we are tuning in via YouTube Live and WBOK right now at 6 o'clock. Also want to thank Franklin Avenue again for allowing us to be here tonight. In fact, it was 3 years ago that we were here in the month of March where we kind of introduced Bayou Phoenix to the public here. But this is much, much bigger tonight. This is probably the most significant announcement so far and even moving forward. Tonight we will learn who will run the movie studio, who will operate the youth sports complex and the hotel and water park. Also, the ushers have handed out index cards or will be handing out index cards to the audience. We will answer as many questions as we can tonight as time allows. Simply raise your card up and an usher will collect them for you throughout the presentation. Are there any elected officials here tonight besides the ones that are on the dais, that will be on the dais? Any elected officials? You want to stand up and just introduce yourself? Okay, Ms. Haynes. Okay. So we want to get started. We're going to try to keep a tight schedule. We're going to ask that Pastor Jarnell Thomas come for a prayer, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, we can do better than that. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see everybody. So this is a very exciting moment that we're going to find out some information about Bayou Phoenix. And we are so excited to be able to host this meeting on tonight. And I know that we're going to be very informed, so I'm excited about it. With that being said, would you just bow just for one moment? Gracious Father, we come before you thanking you for an opportunity to host this meeting on tonight. And God, we lift up Bayou Phoenix project, God, asking that you would bless, allow it to continue to move forward, to be a blessing to our community, to be a blessing to our city and state. So please, Father, have mercy. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. God bless you very much. Thank you very much. So our first speaker, Mike McKenna with Henry Consulting. Mike can tell you where every penny is spent and where it's gone and all that stuff. The money man, Mike McKenna.
Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for braving the time and the traffic and the elements to get here. It feels like me over the last 6 years trying to get this project to where we are today. So for those of you who don't know, what is Bayou Phoenix? Bayou Phoenix is indoor and outdoor water parks. It's indoor and outdoor sports complexes, hotels and hospitality, restaurants, retail, and a movie studio. You may have seen this from our master plan, which was unveiled here at Franklin Avenue a few years ago. It is in a similar format today, and we're going to be very excited to share with you the people who are going to bring this vision to reality. So what have we been doing since this project started to where we are today? In 2020, we responded to the RFQ from the city of New Orleans. 2021, we were selected after the applicants were pared down to 3, I believe it was. The city of New Orleans transferred title to the property to Nora. We then, in 2023, signed our lease with Nora. We began demolition in 2024. I appreciate everyone who came out to our demolition event. Sorry it wasn't the explosions that many of you were expecting. But if you drive in New Orleans East right now, you will no longer see those rides. And you will no longer see the eyesore that was there for the last 20 years, and we're very, very proud of that. And we're ultra excited of what it's gonna be. We signed our first major tenant in 2025, which is Mr. Elvin Ross with E-Ross Studios, who's gonna present his vision here tonight. And in 2026, we have already a number of significant accomplishments under our belt. We have received the engineering report relative to the facility condition assessment of the property. We're expecting the final facility condition report to be presented here very shortly. And we've made significant, monumental strides in figuring out how we're going to pay for this project.
Our next speaker, I was just thinking a minute ago, Madam Mayor, 10, 15 years ago, we were probably standing back there next to a camera covering this event. We would be covering this event. We go back a long way, and it is my honor to introduce you, someone I worked alongside, a colleague for a number of years. To see you rise to where you are today is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm very proud of you. Very proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our mayor, our newly elected mayor, Helena Moreno.
Thank you, Glenn. Old friend here. Not that we're old, but someone I've known for a really long time. First, welcome. Great to see everyone today. This is certainly a great way to get together as we talk about an important project here. And as you all know, to my administration, New Orleans East is a major priority. I am blessed and grateful to have the opportunity to work in collaboration and coordination with our New Orleans City Council, including 2 council members who are here today, the council member for District E, Jason Hughes, and the council member for District D, my good friend, Eugene Green. And I tell you that every day, my team talks about New Orleans East, about what we can do to ensure that New Orleans East rises to where we all want it to be. So that means we focus in on infrastructure. And let me tell you, my Department of Public Works team is on fire right now. In fact, when it comes to turning on lights and repairing lights in New Orleans East, in less than 2 months, we've fixed over 400 lights just in New Orleans East. Our Department of Public Works is in the process right now of hiring 50 Department of Public Works employees, yes, to fix our roads, patch up those potholes, and just in less than 2 months, they've worked on 15 different streets, once again, in New Orleans East. myself and our councilman, Jason Hughes, were focused in on opening Lincoln Beach immediately, focused in on making sure that Lake Forest Plaza is finally a place where we can capture significant retail again. We are unlocking that property. Yes, we're unlocking that property of all the legal quagmires so we can get that back into commerce. And then, of course, this project is incredibly important, more than 20 years in the making. So like all of you today, I look forward to listening to what this update is. I have not been briefed. I'm getting briefed just as you are. So we will all be learning about this new update all together to see what we can do to finally ensure that this property that has laid dormant since Hurricane Katrina finally comes back to life. Thank you all so much.
Let's get it up for the mayor. Okay, now we hear from the two councilmen from this area, Councilman Jason Hughes, District E, and Councilman Eugene Green, District D. Come up, guys.
Thank you and good evening. It's a pleasure to be here on this evening and to see so many folks interested in positive developments in our city. I'm here as a city councilman, but I'm here as a lifelong New Orleanian who just went away to school and came back and just enjoys the city of New Orleans. But I do have a couple of unique perspectives. At the time that Jazzland was developed, I was the head of economic development under Mayor Mayoral, and we were pumped up. And at the end of the day, I want you to know that Jazzland at the time of Hurricane Katrina was still doing well, and Six Flags was thinking about expanding. Part of that reason is because they had so much support from New Orleans East and from our communities in general. I was also the head of the New Orleans Regional Business Park when Hurricane Katrina hit and took away Jazzland. But it's important to recognize the positives, and I want to say that those two events were special, but the fact is that it's a great name, Bayou Phoenix, because when you look at that land and you think about the fact that there was 10 feet of water there, that we are recognizing the fact that like the phoenix, from the ashes, the bird rose and went on to new life and new enthusiasm and excitement and went and traveled the world from the ashes, the bird phoenix. So I just want to say that this is an opportunity to share some of the positive, again, that is going on in our city. I just want to say how proud I am of the Bayou Phoenix team, how proud I am to be a New Orleanian when I see people such as Troy Henry, who finished with me at St. Aug, Jason, but also went on to Stanford University. And I don't like to say so many times, and could be somewhere else, but Troy Henry loves New Orleans. He lives walking distance from Bayou Phoenix development. He's invested in this community. He's doing the racetrack at the racetrack gas station and other investments at the corner of Crowder and Chef Mentor Highway. And he's got other investments going on because he truly enjoys the city. But to the folks who are here from New Orleans East, he talks favorably about New Orleans East all the time. And that's because there's so much good to say. So I want to just say I'm pleased to be in a position where I can help, working with our Mayor Helena Moreno, and the council member, Jason Hughes, because there's so much positive going on in this part of our community. This is a project that is transformative for the entire city. I'm proud to be in a position where I can have some influence and to help make it happen. So to all who are here, our investors, our interested citizens, especially the residents of New Orleans East, who have kind of made this project happen. I don't want to go into that history, but there was so much advocacy on the part of residents of New Orleans East. You ought to be proud because there's so much going on because of the work that you've done. So like the Phoenix, we will all continue to rise and move to greatness through this project and other things that we are doing. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. It's really great to see everyone here on this Friday evening. Let me just say, on day 29 in office, on February 9th, I did have an opportunity to meet with representatives from the Bayou Phoenix group, Mr. Troy Henry and Mr. McKenna, in my office to get an update. Joined with me in that meeting was my senior advisor, Justin McCorkle, my director of strategic initiatives and outreach, Willie Morgan, my constituent services representative and a member of this church, Darren Martin, and my confidential assistant and strategic advisor, Fred Richardson. We received an update conceptually and some next steps on Bayou Phoenix. Tonight I look forward to learning about the partners. The mayor is right. She and I, we meet and talk on a very frequent basis about New Orleans East. And one thing that the mayor and I committed to, as recent as today when we were talking about Lincoln Beach, we've got to be honest with the public. We've got to be transparent. Public has received a lot of promises. And so my goal moving forward is to be honest and to be transparent. And so while I am excited about the future of Bayou Phoenix, I will be honest. There are some questions around the funding scheme. And how do we pay for it? And what is the expectation from government? And so those are things that have to be worked through. And so I look forward to the update tonight. But just know, I'm always going to fight for this community. I'm always going to fight to move it forward. But whether you want to hear it or not, I'm always going to give you the raw truth. And I say that here in the house of the Lord. God bless you.
Jason Hughes, Eugene Green, guys. Our Congressman Troy Carter couldn't be here. He was supposed to be here, but he's stuck at the airport in Chicago. But he did video a message for us, and if it's ready to go, we can get Congressman Troy Carter on the big screen.
This is Congressman Troy Carter. I regret that I am not going to be able to make it for the big presentation on Bayou Phoenix. As you can see, I am stuck in the airport just leaving Jesse Jackson's funeral, which was a wonderful celebration of life. Unfortunately, my flight was 3:30. Due to weather concerns here in Chicago, I will not get out until this new delayed time at 5:40, which will get me in much too late to attend. I look forward to seeing all of the new updates and excitement. I know that this is going to be exciting. Economic development in eastern New Orleans is critical. This is one of those examples of taking blight and turning it into something that would be fantastic for the community. I can't wait to hear the details to figure out how we can jump it with both feet to help support a measure that will employ people, that will take blight and turn it into bright, and create an opportunity for eastern New Orleans to take its rightful place as a fantastic place to live, shop, invest, dine, and recreate. Sorry I can't be there, but I'm sure it's going to be a great evening. God bless.
Prayers for safe travel for our Congressman. At this time, we're going to bring up Troy Henry of Henry Consulting. Troy will introduce the partners for Bayou Phoenix.
Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. This is an exciting time for us. And I apologize that we've sort of kept things close to the vest, and I know it kind of drives everybody a little bit crazy. But I feel like Santa Claus. I'm the one that knows what's in all of the presents. And so I'm so excited for this moment so that we can, you guys can get your presents, so to speak. But this team has worked real hard. We thought it was important to update the public on this project and where we are. The last thing that we did that was public was the demolition, when we commenced with the demolition of this project. And we have made some significant strides since then. But I want to make sure we kind of level set everyone a little bit here first. And I want to make sure people understand, don't confuse progress with perfection, okay? We have made tremendous progress, but we ain't perfect. So there is much more work to be done, but you'll see that we are well on our way to making Bayou Phoenix a true reality and as a transformative project for this community. I want to just talk a little bit about our role a little bit. My partners, Bayou Phoenix is a 50-50 partnership between Henry Consulting and TKT MJ. And the role that Henry Consulting plays is a lot more on the business role, and the TKT plays a lot on the technical role. So in the facility condition assessment that Mike was talking about, TKT was kind of overseeing all of that technical activities. With the financing and the the operators and things like that. The market development work is the role that Henry Consulting has kind of played in this partnership. We really cherish our partnership with TKT. So when the cranes are out there, you probably won't see a lot of Mike and myself and our team. You'll see the TKT guys. But at this point in time, getting the project to the point where we can begin construction and things of that sort, that's been our role. That's why you've seen us a lot more up front on this. But it is truly a 50-50 partnership. Both companies have invested millions of dollars into this thing. We believe in it, and we will make this a reality. Let me frame the discussion a little bit to make sure everyone understands today. As you know, if you remember the whole concept of Bayou Phoenix, we've got a movie studio, water park, hotel, sportsplex, a whole host of things, right? Those are our anchor tenants. We have not at all forgotten restaurant and retail. You won't hear about it today because it was our job first to get our anchors, okay? And so what you will hear today is about the anchors, okay? We have already, we will be working with a company called the Retail Coach that will be helping us recruit the proper retailers that will also be part of the amenities that Bayou Phoenix will have, okay? But the first thing we had to do was secure the anchors, and it's a big, big deal. The other thing is there's some significant activity that is going on now on the technical side, and Mike alluded to it a little bit earlier, but it's called the Facility Condition Assessment. And I'm gonna try and break it down very simply for you guys. We got everything torn down now that we needed to tear down. And now we had a team of engineers and architects under Nora's guidance and direction, New Orleans Redevelopment Authority, and their partners are here. Brenda Bro is the CEO. And what that FCA does is ensures that the areas that we think we can build on, we can actually build on. Now, all of the preliminary indications that we have received thus far are very, very favorable and positive. But it's important that we complete that analysis, and it'll be done shortly. The first phase of it, the engineering component, we actually already received very favorable results. So you saw the master plan that we laid out there a little bit earlier. Well, things may move around, you know what I mean, based upon the facility condition assessment. We may have to put the ball fields here versus there. The slabs that we have, we'd like to be able to keep as much of the concrete as we can there, but some of the concrete maybe supports a snowball stand from Jazzland, but may not support a hotel for Bayou Phoenix. So that is the analysis that is going on that we are trying to complete as soon as possible. That's what Nora's team is doing. Another example of that is y'all remember the big lagoon where you used to do the little water shows and everything there? Well, that's where I got alligators in it now. You're right, got a whole family of them in there now. But that lagoon, we need to know, will become a Clearwater beach. You'll hear more about that from our partners, right? But we need to know how deep it is. So none of us wanted to go kind of join the alligators in there to figure out the depth. So part of the facility condition assessment, I don't know how they're doing it, but they got to tell us how deep it is, because it then guides us to, is it 50 feet deep? So we got to add 40 feet of dirt so that we can bring it up to a swimmable level, or is it a smaller amount? So this assessment that is coming and it is something that is very important, and it has made things a little bit more contingent. We may have to move things around because of that assessment. Now, I want to talk a little bit about our partners that we're going to announce shortly. We did a lot of research and a lot of vetting. I don't know how many people we talked to, but it was a lot. Because all of the different venues, we wanted to know who was best to run each one of them. Everybody had a pitch, everybody had a deal, everybody had their ideas of what we should and shouldn't do. And myself, Mike, my partners from TKT, we didn't know. We just want the vision for it, but we didn't know the details to who's the best water park runner or who's the best hotel operator. We didn't know. So we ended up, after all of that, we arrived at our conclusions, and we are absolutely proud of them. And when you get briefed on all of them, and when you understand who they are, what they do, how they do it, the class and the level in which they do it, you'll stick your chest out the way I am, and you'll feel like Santa Claus when you're talking to your neighbors next, okay? Excuse me. The other thing that's important to understand about our agreement with our partners today, we have a handshake agreement at this point in time with them, with the exception of E-Ross Studios, on purpose. And the reason is when the facility condition assessment comes out, we then will know the exact amount of land we can allocate to each venue, right? If out of our 160 acres, it tells us we can only build on half of that, then it gives a different allocation that we have to work on. So when that comes out, then we will negotiate and finalize our deals. Now, here's the good news for you guys. We've already finalized the economics of the deal already. They already know what the deals will generate, what the sites will generate. They've validated that information already. So it's not a dollars discussion. It's going to be them helping guide us with what size a hotel we can put where, how does it lay out, how should it flow from the hotel to the water park. That level of guidance is why we wanted to bring on the partners, because they'll have two roles. They'll actually help us in the pre-development design of the entire property so that we know we're not building something with me and my sons. They like water parks, so we come up with our own best idea of what it is and not have experts do it. And then throw it over to the experts and say, now go run this. What we decided to do was pick our partners and then let our partners do what they do best in the pre-development phase, and then those same partners that will make a lot of design decisions for us will actually also then operate. So now, you know what I mean, you're going to cook the food and then you're going to eat it. And so that's why it was so important that we select the right partners in order to get this thing all kicked off. I want to make sure that everybody understands one thing about this project. It's the largest development project in New Orleans East in over 50 years, okay? It's that important. Okay, so we wanted to get it right. Most of y'all know I live right across the road from there. And so it's important. Everywhere I go, I get neighbors asking me, hey man, how's our project going in New Orleans East? And the good news is things are progressing well. So I wanted to kind of frame the discussion a little bit, and I'll also bring out our first partner. Now, the good news is for the first of our partners is everyone knows him because we announced him already. But what you don't know is what he's going to share with you, and most people has met Elvin Ross and the E-Ross Studios team. What you don't know is what he will build, and you will get to see exactly what E-Ross Studios will look like, the nature of it, and it's changed. The structure of it, Elvin will also talk about. So would you please help me welcome to the stage the CEO of E-Ross Studios, Mr. Elvin Ross.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Troy. Thank you for having me. I thank you for this opportunity to share with you guys tonight. Mayor Moreno, Councilman Jason Hughes, and Eugene Green. I look forward to working with you all to get in alignment, and make our project better and be cohesive with what you want to do in New Orleans East. So thank you for being here. I also want to thank Madam Brenda Bro. Thank you for the NORA team and your trust and long-term relationship that we have ahead. I'm excited to share my vision of E-Ross Studios with you all this evening, right? So listen, I have spent countless hours at the site, right? It is abandoned. It is rough out there. I've been chased by alligators, very true story. My fiance Latoya and I have been, we've shot at 6 feet, like a 6-foot timber rattlesnake. It's very true, right before we had guests on the property. So it's pretty wild out there. But however, we're developing a user experience out there that our guests will be able to live, work, and play at this mixed-use campus. I believe my team and I have created a plan that fits within the support and supports the Bayou Phoenix overall master plan. We start by paying homage to Jazzland, what it was and what it is to come. I'm sorry, we have to do this, I'm sorry. So it became as Jazzland, then it became Six Flags, now it's Bayou Phoenix. So why Eraw Studios? When Jazzland closed after Hurricane Katrina in 2005, it transformed into one of the most sought-after backlots in Hollywood, a massive super canvas for blockbuster productions. For 2 decades, as an abandoned landmark, Jazzland has proven its star power, drawing major films that have collectively grossed billions worldwide. The feasibility was clear to me. Major blockbusters filmed here include Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and Jurassic World. These productions generated massive box office returns and helped New Orleans become a go-to filming destination. But the industry has pivoted. Streaming, VFX, heavy workflows, tax incentives, and the need for end-to-end efficiency are reshaping where and how films get made. And we are at the forefront of innovation. Our script-to-screen approach and true vertical integration are not just nice to have, they are our future. So, again, we've cleaned up the parking lot. I've spent ahead with my presentation, my apologies. Over the past year, our design team have worked very hard reimagining this iconic site. We have invested a significant amount of time and resources clearing out our parcels and surrounding areas, led by Louis Robinette, who's here tonight, Stacy Francis, and a few other gentlemen that live in this community. We've included that intensive remediation of overgrown trees, vegetation, and wildlife to make this site safe and ready for development. We have successfully completed phase 1, the environmental site assessment, and along with a comprehensive engineering assessment, design work, and detailed user experience studies. The foundational steps position us perfectly to move forward with confidence, honoring the site's history while building a world-class facility. So we hosted the community of Oak Island. We wanted to hear their voices and their concerns. Had a great site visit with those guys, and they're a part of, they've just experienced a lot of wildlife running through their communities and things of that sort, right? So we just want to hear their concerns. So we have a great working relationship with our community. So let's go inside. Let's take a peep inside of what Jazzland will be reimagined to be as Eraw Studios. This was our entrance, and we have completely renovated our entrance. Full of landscaping, so it's something very, very beautiful for you to drive into our property. This is our welcome center and security entrance. I wanted to pay homage to the park, so this is our reimagined gates. We're going to keep the gates, but just renovate them. These are the shops on Main Street. This is Main Street as well at nighttime. We will actually have valet services as well. So this is the Pissarro. This is the Orpheum Theater once was on Main Street. It's very dilapidated and still there, very strong structure, right? But inside of that, we have taken the initiative to clean out this building. I even did a photo shoot there one night, really late at my piano. And that's the cleaned up version. So I made a promise to my fiance that I would marry her on this property. I did. I said, I'm gonna marry you one day. And she said to me, you ain't marrying me out there. So I said, wait, just check out my vision. So Troy and Mike McKenna, they always saying, man, you're going to lose that woman trying to marry out there in that wilderness, right? So I said, okay, just give me an opportunity. Take a look at what I want to do to this place, and I'll marry you here. So that's reimagination of our building. We're naming that building the Pissarro. with a Lookout restaurant connected to it, right off of Main Street. So this gazebo, again, full of trees and vegetation, completely cleared out by the team. But we want to call it the Jazzland Gardens, and we'll take turf and we'll wrap some of the rides that were left behind, like the bumper cars and the Ferris wheel carts and things of that sort. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about the Zydeco Zinger. It still remains. I asked them to retain this particular item because I had this bright idea that at nighttime, we can sit out at this particular piece and enjoy a drink. What do you think about having that turn into an outdoor carousel bar on the terrace? So this building we will call the Knox Point AI Solutions. This is where the magic happens, where we support our films, where we support how we make our films post-production, which does not exist in the state of Louisiana. We're going to take that hands-on and really take post-production seriously so that our films can go from script to screen, which simply means we will be able to start our films from the script and then actually finish them in post-production as well. And this is a reimagination of that particular building. Here is where the bumper cars used to exist. You guys remember that? My idea here is to make, again, this is demolition and cleanup. My idea, a part of my backlot opportunity experience is here, is to make what we'll call Retail Row, the promenade, right? Here's a backlot of Venice, backlot of Bourbon Street, so that film productions don't have to go downtown and shut down the businesses, and you know, it costs so much more in permitting and such, right? You'll be able to shoot that right at Jazzland now. So I had this bright idea to do an outdoor amphitheater, several of them actually on the property if possible. And the Jazzland Bowl is our Hollywood Bowl experience, right? So so it'd be our live event center, you know, where we can do all of our concerts and things of that sort, right? So again, a mixed-use campus. And here's an overview, area view of the entire campus. And this one is a little bit more dear to me, guys. I did purchase the Big Easy. This is Ferris wheel, is something that I did ask to stay. I asked, yes. It's a little special to me. On March 6, 2003, my firstborn baby passed some 23 years ago today. And I endured the most unimaginable loss of my life. Her name was Kylie Anna Ross, and I was living in Atlanta, working with Tyler Perry. Her body was flown back here, and we buried her. Her body is laid to rest at Lake Lawn, right? So today I would like to share with you that we're renaming the Big Easy the Kai Wheel in her memory. So that her eternal tribute and her light, her joy, and the way she continues to illuminate our path will remain. So this is no longer just, you know, a project for me, it's legacy. This is Mayoral Studios Jazzland. Thank you so much.
What you think? When I met with Elvin and he took me through some of this stuff, I almost cried, you know, because some of y'all that have toured the site have seen the demolition and the current condition of this stuff. He's such a blessing with his vision. I mean, we were like, Elvin, we want to just tear all this stuff down and get rid of it. He's like, no. We're going to keep this. And we're like, really? And when he showed us this, we were just blown away with his vision. And so we're excited about Mayoral Studios. And then having this studio now be a traditional studio, as well as this AI studio as well so that you could do the new modern movies there. He's just a tremendous visionary. So that's Elvin Ross, and thank you, Elvin, again, and we appreciate you. All right. Now, y'all know Elvin. Now we're going to get to the part where what y'all don't know. And the first thing I want to do is I want to tell you that our Sportsplex is the critical component of Bayou Phoenix. Why? We call it our demand generator. It's the reason why people will come to the campus and have to come there. And so we needed a partner that could run a Sportsplex, that knew what they were doing and had the experience to do it. We really had 5 companies that we really went deep dives with. And Pinnacle Sports, if you remember them, they're the ones that did the analysis for us. They recommended the folks that we picked as well because of just their quality, their philosophy on customer service, and they're just first-class guys. So, and soon, I will say soon, they're going to have another project in the region as well. I don't think we're prepared to talk about that. He's not prepared to talk about that yet, but there will be some synergies and efficiencies associated with it. But without any further ado, please, please, please give a welcome to Mr. Andy Ballard of Eastern Sports Management, and he's going to blow your socks off. Andy.
Good evening. So everybody knows sports and youth sports. So what I try to do is add a little scope to it, give you a little feel for what it does on the business side. Youth sports is a 50 billion plus revenue stream. And it is one of the fastest growing sector of tourism. During the housing crash, it was the first thing back. During COVID, it was the last thing to leave and the first thing back. So that's big business, and it generates a lot of tax dollars. I see all of the pictures that come through of shops and all the mixed use, and I look at that and I go, man, all the people we're going to bring into these sports facilities are going to have those shops buzzing. And that's great for the community. But Eastern Sports Management started in 2005, and it was really a different mission. The mission for Eastern Sports Management was to instill the values of sports into the communities that we serve. It's really about a belief in what sports does. And then starting in 2005, we learned the economics. So in 2005, we built a facility that we owned and operated. We had to pay all the bills that come along with it, the debt of building and construction. And what we found was doing that $10 per person per visit takes a lot of volume. And a lot of volume puts a lot of wear and tear on the facility, so you got to learn how to take care of it, and a lot of scar tissue came through in learning those lessons. You fast forward from 2005 and into today, and what you start to see is $200 million of economic impact annually, doing over 250,000 room nights. And we have a variety of facilities. We have facilities with 1 million gallons of water that have NCAA swimming and diving. We have local facilities that are your typical rec centers. We have big facilities that have 32 volleyball courts in one location, indoor, outdoor. So you'll see with us that no matter the structure, no matter the size, we're focused on the community and providing access to sport, which everybody needs, and doing it in a very fiscally responsible way. You're gonna see that we are focused on creating economic boom. I've got this great, really just the blessing of being able to see us build our second facility that we own, the Virginia Beach Fieldhouse, 175,000 square feet. And when I went there, it was just a grass field. And now when you go into that community, there's a hospital, an amphitheater, there's several strip malls, anchor tenants throughout those strip malls. Restaurants are popping up all over the place. They built a hotel, they built high density housing around it. So just a really good story, and I'm excited to see what it can do in New Orleans East. So when you look at what these sports facilities do for a community. To give you just a little bit more about Eastern Sports Management, we've got hundreds of millions of dollars in projects from coast to coast. Got a nice little pocket happening all the way up in Washington State, and over to New Hampshire and all the way down to Florida. And we put back into our communities a good bit. We have several programs putting millions of dollars back into the community. We're doing a ton of traffic. We're going to talk about traffic a little bit. But right now we're doing about 7 million door swings throughout our facilities. This is some of our operating facilities. You'll see that we have from the mid-Atlantic down through the south, we have infrastructure, but projects go from coast to coast. Really, we're the masters of the hard stuff. If you go out and you look into our competitors and what we do throughout the different business models, we like the programming. So when you see, if you go to your local Little League fields and you go to a big tournament this weekend, what you're going to see is there's going to be a lot of different components to it. There's going to be a hospitality component. You're going to have traffic that you're trying to do, and you're trying to monetize that. We're going to talk about how that business model works here in just a second. But I want to tell you about a couple projects. So our biggest indoor facility is the Memphis Sports and Event Center. So it's $55 million. They'd never count my $5 million that I put into it. It's a $55 million project. They don't like to count my $5 million. And it's a 227,000 square foot facility. It's got 32 volleyball courts in it. We have the biggest Nike EBYL tournament in the country there, with over 200 teams. That event alone does over $7 million of economic impact. I think that had 4,000 hotel room nights this past season. But it has a little over 1.4 now. I think it's at 1.6 million in annual foot traffic. VIP suites. It's got full service food and beverage. And then here's an example of an outdoor facility. So you're looking at foot traffic at 1.4, 1.6 in an indoor model. And now you're looking at 1.4 million at United Sports Training Center for an outdoor model. And this project is also going to have a baseball version of this. So you have the capacity to do over 1 million indoor, over 1 million with the long fields, and over 1 million with the baseball. And those shift around, as the calendar moves, and you have to do that, but it just shows the great opportunity. This is a 60-acre complex in Pennsylvania, in between Lancaster and Philadelphia. One of the big soccer tournaments we do there is over 800 teams. It was 827 last year. Does 10,000 room nights in a weekend there from Hershey, Pennsylvania, all the way down to King of Prussia. Beautiful facility there. So this is an important piece of the equation. So if we have our kids and we're going to a volleyball tournament this weekend, that volleyball tournament, the standard metric is $10 to $15 per person per hour in programming. So let's just say we're going to spend $100 for our kid to participate in that tournament. As parents, we're going to spend $500 to $700 on the weekend. We got gas, we got food, we got lodging, we've got entertainment. I know that when my daughter's playing a sport, my son is going to tear the facility apart if we don't give him something to do. And so you got to have that entertainment component. So what you're doing here in this project and as a community is you're capturing all of that. And one of the magical things when you invest in sport is that right now, all those people that are playing basketball in other areas, you're losing that economic impact to other communities. And this is an investment not only to keep the people locally that are leaving, but it's also an opportunity to draw people into this community. And so what happens is the target market for this facility is going to be about 3 to 5 hours. That's the tournament window. You have great demographics on that. I'm a data junkie, so I get into the geofencing a little bit. But that's a good understanding of how the total project's going to work together. We're going to be able to bring in over 2 million visits. Those 2 million visits are going to plug in the lodging, the food and beverage, the entertainment, and it's all living in New Orleans East. So we have a multi-tiered approach. We want the national events. The national events are going to bring notoriety. They are going to be the magnet for a lot of the regional events, but we also have a really heavy local presence because we know what sport does for the community, and we also understand that you have all this inventory that can be used by the community. So this is what we're here to do. This is what Eastern Sports Management is tasked with. We run towards this accountability. We understand the value of it and the commitment that y'all are making in us. So we want to bring in over 2 million visits in the sports assets. We want to generate over 100,000 room nights, and we believe that'll generate 80 million in economic impact, and that's per year. And so I'm passionate about what it does for communities, but I just really wanted to say thank you for inviting me into the New Orleans community. It's family. I mean, my daughter was beating me up about the shift in the time and my commitment to her, and she's stubborn as it gets and mean sometimes. And I was like, nah, I want to get there early. I want to spend some time. And it's just, y'all have such a welcoming community, and everybody cares, and they want to see this development go. And so I just want to say thank you for making me a part of it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Andy. What do y'all think? You go to their facilities, you'll be like, there's some bad dudes, you know what I mean? They really got what they're going. As we were designing out and our discussions that we originally had with Andy, we thought that there was something we could do kind of special. And there's a gentleman that had approached us that we weren't sure exactly what to do about it from a sports standpoint, that after talking to Andy and working with them, we said, look, we could partner together and really make the sports offering even a richer offering. And so what I want to do is show you a brief video, and then I'm going to ask Tim Bennett from Hank Aaron Sports to come up and visit with you. Here's the video. I think I got to hit it one more time.
For nearly 3 decades, Overtime Sports and owner Tim Bennett has transformed sports in the southeastern region. In fact, actually throughout the entire United States and now internationally, adjusting how sports intertwines with the communities they serve. Bennett began his career in Major League Baseball when contacted by Mayor Bobby Bright of Montgomery, Alabama, and he'd go on to partner with the founder of Universal Studios and the Tampa Bay Rays, relocating the minor league team from Disney's Wide World of Sports in 2003 to Montgomery, Alabama. He quickly followed that relocation, creating what would become a career-long partnership with his 2004 move of the Atlanta Braves to Pearl, Mississippi's Trustmark Park, becoming the catalyst that would lure the state's only Bass Pro and the region's largest shopping experience with the construction of the outlets of Mississippi. This development alone has produced thousands of jobs and billions, yes, billions in revenue over its 20-year history, all in a community of less than 24,000 in population and a median household income of under 40,000 at the time, representing one of the smallest suburbs in the Jackson metro area, while making perhaps the largest, most significant social and economic contribution to the entire region. Continuing and adding to this successful development, Bennett would go on to develop Mac and Bones Mini Golf and Grill in 2006, located comfortably in walking distance in the development that is now one of the state's most important and recognized shop, work, and play districts, boasting more than 15 hotels and dozens of restaurants on Interstate 20's Pearson Road exit. Bennett would then turn his attention to the casino capital of the southeastern region of the United States to take on what he says was his toughest career battle, where he would spend 10 years enduring Hurricane Katrina, the BP oil spill, the housing crisis, and a recession that would cripple the nation financially, all on his quest to bring a second minor league baseball team to Mississippi. Just months before opening day, however, Biloxi's champion mayor and project leader A.J. Holloway would suffer an untimely death before the opening pitch could be thrown, providing yet another setback. Yet through it all, Bennett persevered, resulting in a partnership with MGM Resorts International's Beau Rivage to create MGM Park, which opened in 2015 as the home of the Milwaukee Brewers minor league team, giving Mississippi two minor league teams for the first time in its 200-plus year history, and ironically, both in the only teams that Hank Aaron played for in his storied career. This made the journey all the more satisfying, said Bennett, showing what's possible when people of all races, genders, nationalities, and religions work together for a common purpose he said was and continues to be his greatest legacy, and perhaps the most common desire he shared with Hank Aaron, seeing all people get along, using the game of baseball as the tool to do so, while working in unison even against perceived political divides. This effort would lead to Bennett becoming Mississippi's first minority African American owner of a professional sports franchise, being recognized for the relocation of not one, not two, but three major league franchises over a span of just 11 years. Bennett, however, says he had unfinished business and was itching to return to the state capital of Jackson, Mississippi, and with stubborn determination, the quest would continue. As the Hank Aaron Sports Academy was born when Bennett partnered with the legend himself, Henry Hank Aaron, and they collectively decided on locating in Jackson, Mississippi. However, once again, Bennett would find himself and the rest of the world buried in grief and disbelief when it was announced that the legend himself and Bennett's mentor and partner Henry Aaron had passed on the morning of January 22nd, 2021. Yet with firm resolve, the project would move on as Hank would have demanded, and this effort would go on to spawn the growth of youth baseball in and around the Jackson metro area, leading to Major League Baseball's and the Atlanta Braves' efforts to help grow the game in the facility that gave birth to minor league baseball in Mississippi over 50 years ago in 1975, when Darryl Strawberry Mookie Wilson and the New York Mets made Jackson their minor league home at Smith Wills Stadium. It's there that a new era for baseball began when the Cavalry came to the rescue, with names like current and future Hall of Famers Tracy McGrady, Andrew Jones, Ozzie Smith, Dusty Baker, and other teammates Tom House, Ralph Garr, Brian Jordan, and many other soldiers would come to fight for the legend of Hank to live on and never be forgotten. Born was the Legacy League of Developmental Baseball, serving not only Mississippi and the southeastern region, but the entire United States, and yes, even internationally, reaching youth regardless of skin color, gender, or nationality, just the way Hank wanted it to be and continues to be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Tim Bennett, Hank Aaron Sports. He just got here. He just got off a plane, too. Thank you.
Thank you. Fortunately, I was able to make it, unlike the congressman earlier in Chicago. I was in Orlando. Just this 2 days ago, Wednesday, the Braves actually played Colombia for the first time, the country of Colombia. And when I look around the world today, many of the dignitaries that were supposed to come to the game weren't able to make it because of politics. And so that's kind of why there's a reference to us being able to work through just about everything. And that's what sports does, is it brings people together. It's not a divider. And so it's what I enjoy most about sports. My original mission in life was I was a missionary for about 8 years, and I worked all over the world. I won't mention the religion because sometimes religion divides, so just know this, it's a Christian organization. And so working in Africa, South America, it gave me the chance to kind of see people from different perspectives. And when my dad passed away in '95, I got into baseball because we cut grass for those people. Cutting grass for very wealthy people in Florida, the owners of Budweiser and the Tampa Bay Rays and a lot of big trucking companies. Didn't go to college, but we got an education from a John Deere and a weed eater, a rake. So we learned, my dad would say, talk less, do more, and we'll get home quicker. And so I'm not going to take up a lot of your time. I've been very fortunate in my career to work with some of the legends of the game, the Hall of Famers, some living, some past. And so they've given me their legacies, and so I bring that legacy to New Orleans. I've been very fortunate to see the hard work that Troy has put into this project and working especially in Biloxi. I know many of you here can attest to that, the damage that Katrina done, the damage that BP done to this area of the country. I'm, again, from Central Florida, but we've seen our share of hurricanes and tornadoes. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to help. We're looking forward to being a part of the project. The thing I like about baseball is it's outdoors, it's outside. So we're easy to build, we're quick to get up and running. Troy, if you decide to move us up the ladder, we're ready to go. Thank you, Andy. We're looking forward to working with you and looking forward to working with you all.
All right. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate you very, very much. We're excited about the Hank. Just imagine now the kids. I mean, just Hank Aaron Sports, right? I mean, it's going to be huge, the Legacy League here in New Orleans, okay? And the Hank Aaron team will be working with ESM to integrate the whole sports experience. So let's move on from sports and let's talk about the next aspects of this project. It's pretty cool. We've got a hotel offering that we wanted, water park, family entertainment center, Clearwater Beach Lagoon, right? So we met with a lot of flags, a lot of the Hyatts, the Hiltons, the Marriott. We met with all of these different folks. We met with all the brands, all the flags, all the operators that we could imagine. I mean, there's tons of companies that operate hotels. There's other companies that operate water parks. There's other companies that operate lagoons. And my team, we are literally scratching our heads saying, what the heck do we do? How do we pull this all together with experts? And our big concern was integration, right? We wanted kids to be able to go from their hotel to the water park and use a wristband and buy a hot dog and then go to the family entertainment center and be able to play video games and rides and things of that sort. And then go to the lagoon and be able to have a seamless integration. So we talked to one company and said, yep, we do hotels, we do them well, we're the best at doing hotels, all of that stuff. What about a water park? No, we don't really do water parks. Oh, okay, great. But we could work with whoever you got on. I'm like, yeah, I heard that drill before. And we talked to the other ones about water parks and said, yep, we run indoor, we run outdoor, we do all of this stuff. What about hotels? No, we let the hotel people do hotels. And we were like, okay, we get it. So our team, integration was priority for us. So then we met a guy who had approached us a while ago, and he was the most excited person I've ever seen go to an abandoned amusement park before in my life. And this guy's name is Rick Coleman, and he's the CEO of American Resort Management. And he said, you know, all of those things that you want to do, we've been doing them for over 20 years, and we would love to be able to do Bayou Phoenix. So we checked them out. And what we realized, first of all, was they were the best. But even more so, I went to a public, they hosted a public seminar. I invited Councilman Hughes, I know he couldn't make it, to come to it. Because when I got there, It was the craziest thing. There was all of these mayors and city managers from all over the country there just to learn how to do what they do, which is how to build a water park in a community, how to build a hotel and integrate it. So they're sitting there with bated breath, and I knew right then and there, man, did we pick the right partner. So I want to introduce American Resort Management to you. The CEO couldn't be here himself today, but his executive vice, Rick, he's got a family member with some health challenges right now, but his executive vice president of American Resort Management, and they will run the hotel, the water park, the Clearwater Beach Lagoon, and the Family Entertainment Center, all as one integrated venue. So please help me welcome Mr. Justin Brown from American Resort Management. My man.
Thank you, Troy. Really appreciate the introduction, and good evening, everyone. As Troy mentioned, Justin Brown with American Resort Management. We're a hospitality management and consulting firm, and we specialize in exactly what Troy said. Hotels, water parks, family entertainment centers, lagoon amenities across the country. And our head office is in Grand Prairie, which is a DFW Metroplex suburb. You know, this project is truly special for the city of New Orleans. It's not only about bringing visitors from outside of the area, from around the country to experience this attraction, but it's also about creating a community asset here in the city of New Orleans. It's a destination that you as residents are going to be proud of. It's one that's going to create jobs, and it's one that's going to drive tourism and create memories for families. You know, as a team, when we sit down and we first start to brainstorm about a project, something comes up that's not even related to hospitality. And it's about cell phones and technology. And we often talk about how cell phones are running our lives. They're running families' lives with screen time. And when we set out to create a destination, our objective is exactly the opposite of that. We want to bring back analog experiences. Experiences where parents can ride down a water slide with their kids, where grandma and grandpa can experience a lazy river with their grandchildren, and where families can go out to dinner and trade in the screen time for smiles and for laughter. And that's what we're all about. We're about creating those experiences on this project. You know, since 2005, our company's been all about families. Great destinations, they don't happen by accident. They require a lot of planning, a lot of operational leadership, and a relentless focus on the guest experience. So as a corporate leadership team at American Resort Management, we bring over 200 years of combined hospitality management experience, from hotel and water park management to marketing and finance and maintenance, to create a turnkey solution at the projects that we operate. Our portfolio of projects extends from coast to coast here in the United States. As Troy mentioned, we operate indoor water parks, outdoor water parks, lagoons, hotels, dining venues, man-made lagoons, etc. And these venues come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Some of them drive tourism from all parts of the country. They're large properties. But some of them are small. They're community gathering places. And for us, our goal is the same, no matter large or small. It's about delivering those memorable family experiences that I spoke about earlier. You know, we are so fortunate to be involved in this project early on. So part of our process as an operator begins long before the shovel ever goes in the ground. And it starts a lot on our consulting side of our business. You know, our first priority is taking a look at the feasibility study and the financial analysis and projecting a 10-year budget for the property. We then take that budget and that financial analysis and we pair it up with the construction and the design and the engineering teams. Our goal is to create something that's visually appealing and really exciting, but it also has to be financially sustainable. It has to meet the financial goals and the financial budget. So we put those two aspects together and ensure that the project is going to be financially stable for many years to come. Once the construction starts and we approach the opening day of the property, the hotel, the water park, the lagoon amenity, the family entertainment center, we do all of the pre-opening. So that's hiring the staff and training the team, ordering supplies, and that leads us to opening day where we take on the long-term management of the property. And that's full turnkey, from hiring the lifeguards and the front desk staff to doing the property marketing and the financial analysis to keep it running smoothly. You know, I mentioned earlier, over the last 20 years, we've had an opportunity to run a number of different projects across the country. And I wanted to share with you tonight just a couple examples of the projects that we've been involved in from all different facets of the operation in the hospitality industry. So this is Epic Waters. It's an indoor water park in Grand Prairie, Texas. It's 62,000 square feet. It features northern Texas's largest indoor river. And we consulted on this project and we serve as the long-term operator. We operate Wild Rivers in Irvine, California. It's an outdoor park. It opened in July of 2022. It's 20 acres, has 20 rides and attractions, and we're the third-party manager of that property. Parrot Island, Fort Smith, Arkansas. This is a great example of a seasonal community water park. It's a little bit smaller. It's 6 acres and opened in 2015. And we conduct all of the management and did all the pre-opening services there at Parrot Island. Troy mentioned earlier the Crystal Beach and the lagoon amenity. We operate quite a few of those in our portfolio. In fact, one of the largest man-made lagoons in the state of Texas is one that we operate. It's called Lagoon Fest. It's in Texas City, which is a Houston suburb. Opened in 2021. It's a 12-acre lagoon amenity. And we do all sorts of really cool stuff in this lagoon. It's not just for swimming. There's paddleboarding and kayaking and an inflatable obstacle course. Really, truly something for everyone to experience. We operate Angel and Balmaro lagoons, which are also in the Houston market. They're a little bit smaller, 2 and 4 acres respectively, but white sandy beaches, water sports, inflatable obstacle courses, etc. We also do hotels. We have a Hyatt in Riverhead, New York, 100-room hotel with 17,000 square feet of event space, and it's adjacent to the Long Island Aquarium. So constant integration efforts with the aquarium to bring packages and create room nights and ticket sales for the aquarium. The Shoals Hotel, also Long Island, New York. It's a luxury boutique-style hotel. It's adjacent to a marina, and we serve as the third-party manager. Tropic Falls in Foley, Alabama, another indoor water park, just opened in 2022. It's 75,000 square feet, has 11 exciting water slides, and a fantastic attachment to the OA Tropic Falls Resort in Foley. Jay Peak Resort in Jay Peak, Vermont. This is a great ski town where we help to develop over 260 rooms, 600 condos, a restaurant, and an indoor water park, all within the same campus at this beautiful ski resort. The Island Water Park in Atlantic City, New Jersey, in a fantastic beach town in South Jersey. It opened in July of 2023. In addition to the properties that we've consulted on and we currently manage, we also have $2 billion in development within indoor and outdoor water park resorts presently. So I wanted to just go through a few key project showcases of projects that we currently have in development. This is Bellevue Bay. It's in Bellevue, Nebraska, which is an Omaha suburb. This is going to be a 60,000 square foot indoor water park with attached hotel, which will have 300 rooms. We have a project in Bradley, Illinois, which is a Chicago suburb, about a 45-minute drive on the south side of Chicago. It's a fairly large property, 75,000 square feet of indoor aquatic space, a great slide complex, and it's going to have an attached 150 hotel rooms to it. The Cascadia Resort in Greeley, Colorado, 411 rooms, an indoor water park, and a family entertainment center. Mattel Wonder. ARM, American Resort Management, is the exclusive licensor of Mattel Wonder indoor water parks, and these water parks will feature key brands like Barbie and Hot Wheels and Fisher-Price. We've got several locations under development right now in Orlando and in Bellevue, Nebraska. And finally, rounding out the portfolio, a beautiful community water park in Pecos, Texas, which is in full design and about to start construction. So as you can see, water park resorts and hotels and these lagoon amenities are very important to us, but they're also important to communities because they're such an asset. And in closing tonight, I wanted to just share one of our marquee projects that we've worked on over the last 20 years. It's a project that's very special to us, and it's at Epic Central in Grand Prairie, Texas, where our company is headquartered. And you can see in that picture the glowing water park out in the distance. Epic Central is an entertainment district that started with a simple vision: to drive economic activity to Grand Prairie, which is a suburb of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So in partnership with us, American Resort Management, the city of Grand Prairie decided to build a water park called Epic Waters that you saw a photo of earlier. And after about a year of attendance at Epic Waters, where we had hundreds of thousands of visitors go through our doors, the city realized that they had something special. But the story is not about just the water park. It's about what came afterwards. And what came afterwards was a 172-acre entertainment district that features restaurants and retail and hotels and shopping. And it becomes an anchor to tourism in the Grand Prairie area. This particular entertainment district has now created over 2 million square feet of retail space within a 10-mile radius, with national vendors like IKEA and Bass Pro Shop and mainstream entertainment that have come because of the numbers that the entertainment district at Epic Central are providing. So the water park was so much more than just the slides and the attractions. It was a catalyst. It was a catalyst to economic development, a catalyst for tourism, but most importantly, it's become a community asset. As American Resort Management, as the management organization for this project, we are so excited to bring all of these aspects and our experience to New Orleans. And we're gonna make it work through strong operations, a safety-first mindset all the time and every day, a commitment to community hiring, and a family-friendly year-round attraction for everyone. Beyond the attractions, though, and beyond the buildings and the restaurants and the shops, there's more meaning to a project like this, and it's opportunity for local families. A project like this is going to create hundreds upon hundreds of jobs. And for many young people, it could be their very first job experience. Maybe working as a lifeguard, maybe working as a hotel front desk clerk. But for others, it's going to be an opportunity to continue their career in hospitality or marketing or finance. Hundreds of jobs that it will create within the community. And it's a destination that's going to create memories while also creating opportunity. Thanks again for your time tonight. We're so excited to bring this vision to reality, and we're excited to work together to create something truly epic. Thank you.
What do you guys think so far? Y'all excited? Awesome, awesome. I see former District E Council member Oliver Thomas in the house. Oliver was here from the jump start on Bayou Phoenix. And we're going to bring back up Mr. McKenna. Where are you, Mike? There he is. Talk more money. What's next?
Thank you very much. It's a very, very difficult act to follow. Let me give a special thank you to Jackie Bonanno and the JB Communications team for helping set up all of the public events around Bayou Phoenix. And a round of applause for Ms. Jackie Bonanno. So I feel a little bit slighted because Troy's always telling me, Mike, go get the car. Mike, go get my laundry. Mike, go, oh, his lunch. And then one day he had the bright idea, his brightest idea yet, after he hired me. He said, Mike, go get that money. Am I lying? So we have been working very hard, and we have been traveling across the country to put together a financing package that makes sense for the project, for the developers, for government, for the community. And so I'm pleased to announce that, not in any of these pockets, but at the office, I have a summary term sheet, preliminary indication of interest for a significant portion of the private funding needed to make Bayou Phoenix a reality. So, our sponsor is a middle market investment bank. They're founded in 1998, and they have participated in over $25 billion of private equity and venture capital transactions. Their experience is in debt and equity for real estate projects of this nature. They are actually getting close to closing on another water park investment. So they know what they're doing in the money space, in the entertainment space, in the recreation space. They will be providing advisory services, underwriting, and direct lending for the project through a network of their high net worth individuals, institutional investors, and registered investment advisors. Now, they specialize in projects ranging from $50 million to $1 billion in total aggregate value. And I was in San Francisco just over a week ago with them, and they also have offices in London and the UAE. So the next question is, how long is this going to take, and what is the process? Well, we're already kind of down the line. All of the attorneys that I see in the House tonight and public officials, you know that the terms and conditions are the most important part of any transaction. So we have that preliminary indication of interest. We've already been introduced to them. They've seen the 680-page master plan, and we've been in in-depth discussions with them about the overall project. The next steps would be the data gathering and due diligence, and that would be their opportunity to dig deeper into ARM's background, Eastern Sports Management, Tim Bennett, Hank Aaron Sports, do their math on all of the analysis and feasibility studies that we conducted at the beginning of this project. And then they're going to go out to their network to try to source both the debt and the equity. Now, the business modeling is going to take probably about a month, between 2 and 4 weeks. And then the solicitation, going to find the right partners for us, we believe, is going to take them about another 3 to 4 months. And during that time, they will have completed, 3 or 4 weeks. No, it's 12 weeks, is 3 to 4 months. To complete their due diligence. See what I'm saying? You see what I mean? To do all of the legalese associated with a financing transaction of this size and scope, and then hopefully at the end of roughly the 16th week, maybe a little bit longer, hopefully not much longer, we will get to a financial close. So what does a financial close look like, and what does it cost to make all of the pretty slides and videos that we saw come to a reality? So based on the research that we've conducted, along with the experience and expertise of our partners, we have a macro budget of what we think this project is going to run, and it's approximately $500 million. We believe that the 2 hotels would cost approximately $100 million to complete, and that was in the master plan. It contains 400 hotel rooms. We would finance that privately through the funding source that I just mentioned earlier, through Bayou Phoenix. The indoor sports park and the outdoor sports parks, those combined are roughly $80 million, and that would be a mix of both private and public investment. The water parks would be a private investment. Family Entertainment Center also would be a private investment, and the pre-development would be a mix. I want to thank Councilmember Thomas for allocating their first $1 million to NORA, which they have taken to conduct the facility condition assessment. They have repaired the pumps to the location to make sure that we can drain the water and that it would not be underwater when we have a major rain event or hurricane type flooding. I also want to thank Councilmember Green for his help in getting, along with Jeff Swartz, getting $5 million from economic development, and then $5 million that has been allocated through the bond issuance. There's a lot of work still needed to be done on the site before we can even begin to build anything, and you see approximately $35 million in infrastructure. And if you've ever tried to get off the interstate to get to Bayou Phoenix from Michoud, you need a dump truck or a 4x4 to get off the road. So it needs some street work, it needs some light works, we need some drainage, we need a lot of fill out there to give it to a level that is ready to be built. So the $330 million is the part that I'm most focused on today, of which, like I said, I have a preliminary indication of interest from a funding source with an amount that is not quite the full boat, but it is a good start for us. But we're going to have a gap. And that gap, if we did then build the entire site at $500 million, we're going to be roughly $61 million in a gap. And that $61 million includes the $11 million that has already been allocated between the City of New Orleans and NORA, and an outstanding balance of $50 million. When you listen to Andy and Justin talk about the cities, the counties, the municipalities where they're making these developments happen, it's not happening without public government participation. So we are endeavoring to bring 88% of the total project costs to the table from the private sector in a mix of private debt and equity, and we will be looking for the remaining 12% to come from the public sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Typical finance guy, he don't get too excited about anything, huh? But he's busted his butt to get this, the negotiations with the investment bank. Look, they don't take on these projects without knowing, they already kind of know where they're going to source the money from. They just got to go through their regulatory process and things of that sort. So we're excited about and the job that Mike has done with the team. because nothing works without getting this thing paid for. And so we're going to go through that process next. But I want to talk a little bit, just kind of to summarize what Mike has already kind of talked to a little bit about, and that is there's a gap. But most importantly, there's a big piece that's already kind of going to get covered real soon. I mean, look, I don't know about y'all, but I ain't never signed a note for $300 million before, right? And so, but it's amazing because there are a lot of people that believe in you, and there's a lot of people that believe in this vision and what it can do. They've seen the homework that our experts have done. They've seen the homework and the feasibility analysis that we've done, and they believe in it like we believe in it. They believe it's a lucrative opportunity for everybody. And I want to make sure I reemphasize this. It's the largest development in eastern New Orleans in over 50 years. Okay? Not one of, it's the largest, okay? So what we need really is very simple. I believe we need some public sector leadership to fill the gap. All right? The money doesn't have to all come from the city, doesn't have to all come from the state, doesn't have to come from the federal government, but I think it's got to come from the public sector. We all pay our taxes. Money goes to those places, whether it's downtown New Orleans, Baton Rouge, or Washington, D.C. We've been waiting over 20 years for some of it to come back in this direction, and this time is now. All right? So for the public officials that are left here, I'm going to tell you real simple. I'm going to give you some suggestions on how you can do it. All right? We have a capital outlay request that is currently going to be considered as part of the City of New Orleans package that is in Baton Rouge and the legislative session that begins on Monday. All right? We believe it's priority enough that they can fill this gap just out of the state if they wanted to. Okay? We send more than $50 million a year to the state. All right? We applied for a Fast Sites grant from the state of Louisiana for $25 million. In the first round, we didn't get it. I think the place on Poland, the NSA got it, and some other places all around the state got it. We should have gotten that too, but we didn't. But there's going to be another round, and we're going to apply for that one too. But we need help. We need sponsors. We need government officials to do their jobs and represent us. Okay? Mike talked about this $400 million bond allocation that the city has come up with, that you voted on and we approved. The mayor has the sole authority to reallocate those dollars any way they want to reallocate them. Okay? I wish she was still here because I make sure she knows that, but I'm sure her team is here. Some of that money can be reallocated. All right? It's our time. I know they got operating income issues today, and I know she's got a challenging job dealing with operating income. But they seem to be able to squeeze money out to do what they want to do, and I'm asking them to do the same here. All right? I know Congressman Carter wanted the heck to be here, and I know he's going to come through. He's already talked about the earmark process and having federal dollars also part of this process. But what we need is that team to come together on behalf of this project and over the next 2 years fill the gap. All right? We're going to have our $300 million sitting there, but we're going to need the 50 to finish this thing. Okay? So my message to you guys is it's our time and it's now. No excuses. I don't want to hear the other stuff. All right? We waited patiently and watched every single other part of the city get redeveloped except for us. It's our time now. Okay? Let's talk a little bit of property values. My home today, I live in Eastover right here in New Orleans East. My property value today has not gotten back to its pre-storm value yet. Okay? After 20 years. Okay? I believe this transformative project, just like when Jazzland was here, our property values were high. I believe when Bayou Phoenix is back, our property values will go back up again, and all of these property taxes that get collected by the city will be more than enough to pay for the investment, the 12% that we're asking out of the public sector. Okay? Now, there's a lot of folks hating that don't want this to happen because they don't want New Orleans East to grow, or they don't want Troy Henry's project to be successful, or they don't want Michael Latubre's project to be successful, or they want to keep New Orleans East down, right, and send all of the bad stuff east and all of the good stuff go downtown. All right? So my message to each of you all, I have an action request for you. And it's to stop sitting on your hands and tell them it's our time is now. And we're not standing for anything but now. We're not standing for a maybe. We're not standing for a possibly. Figure it out amongst yourselves to close the gap. And listen, I have no sympathy. I'm putting up 88%. I got the $300 million note on my back that I got to make payments on. All right? So my message to you is I can't do it alone, because they see me as the greedy developer or what have you. But they don't understand what this means to our community as a whole, and I need your help in making sure that all of your elected officials understand, okay? It's important. Our team is committed. We got millions of dollars already in this project invested, right? Already in it. That demolition didn't happen on its own. Okay? Those studies that we did, the travel and the research, all of the things, all of the consultants we paid, it didn't happen on its own. It came out of our pockets. Right? And now we're asking for the rest of this equation to get solved. Right? We'll get our 300. We're confident in that. Right? But we need the rest to happen. I'll tell you it's important. One of the issues we have right now is we don't have representation in most of New Orleans East because there's elections that are outstanding. So I'm glad to see Mr. Rounds here. He'll do a great job with Bayou Phoenix, supporting Bayou Phoenix. And thank you for coming out here. You got my vote, all right? just in case y'all was wondering. But I'll tell you, vote wisely. And I'll tell you, vote now. Okay? Because it's important. It's the largest economic development project in over 50 years in eastern New Orleans. It's important. Thank you. God bless you. And we're going to go to Q&A now. Well, first, what do y'all think? How you like our partners? Huh? What do you think? First class? Kind of folks you'd want representing you, running your water park, running your hotels, running your sportsplex? What do you think? Huh? Can you see the vision? Can you see why I was excited? I'm sitting there like a kid in a candy store. I can't wait for y'all to meet them. And they're here. They'll hang around. They're going to hang around, and you can talk to them and meet them and the whole thing. So it's exciting. These guys are going to do a tremendous job. We're going to have a tremendous asset in East New Orleans. Okay? But we need your help. And this ain't the time to sit on your hands and bite your tongues. All right? I'm sorry, Glenn. You were saying something, bro. Go ahead.
No. It's the question period right now. Have you guys have your cards? No one gave them out? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. You stay here, I'll go down there, and I'll have you, whoever have, just raise your hand.
Watch your step,
question.
Man. Watch your step. You know you're old, bro.
Yeah, and I got that vertigo.
You know?
I gotta walk side. I'm not ashamed.
That's why I stayed up here, bro.
Come on, man. You want to ask your question? Stand up. Okay. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening. I'm glad this is happening for New Orleans East.
Your name, ma'am?
My name is Valerie Jefferson. Okay, yes. I have a question for the workers, the laborers. For the sports and hospitality laborers, would they be paid living wages? Would they be paid living wages, and will they be hired from?
Great question. Yes, absolutely on the living wages. And with our current recruitment process at all of the properties that we have in development right now, over 90% of the labor force is coming from the local community, all of the projects in development.
She has one, Ms. Jefferson has one more question.
One more, this is the last one. Okay, transportation. Have you all had any dialogue with the public transportation here like RTA about the routes, and with the labor union that work with RTA, that is RTA.
So I've known, CEO Lona since we were both kids. So we've spoken about Bayou Phoenix. They've already made a commitment that they're going to be as accommodating as for route standpoint, because we want people to be able to get to the park from as workers as well as tourists or our guests. So they're going to work with us once we define, all of the detailed parameters, but they've already made that commitment. We even talked, in fact, at one point in time with RTA, they would like to be able to figure out a way to get a rail that would come all the way out here. I don't know if that'll ever happen or not, but that would be pretty cool to go from the airport and then be able to vector off and actually come all the way out here to Bayou Phoenix. We also think, and with Justin and that team, they're going to be working with the cruise lines, because we think there's a lot of people that's going to get on the cruise, like to spend a day or two at Bayou Phoenix and then hop on a cruise or when they hop off. So that'll happen. Those are things that'll kind of come, though. Okay, thank you. Great question. Who's next, Glenn? Oh, go ahead, Mike. You got one? Go ahead.
Yes, I have a question for EROS Studios. And the question is EROS Studios providing its own financing, or is it part of the Bayou Phoenix financing plan?
Well, I can tell you, they bringing their own money to the table. He's a baller and a shot caller. He's like, I don't want y'all little money. Y'all go do y'all deal. But Elvin is already on the lease, and he is in the process of securing all of the financing that he needs to do, not only his first phase, but also the next phase of this as well, because he's got the regular studios, and he's got these AI studios that are all going to be part of EROS. So did I miss anything, E? All right, good. All right, yes, ma'am.
Your name,
Madeline Trepanier. Good afternoon. Have you guys had any type of conversations with the public schools or our colleges to have programs to develop so that we can have actual managers that work in these different areas from the city of New Orleans, and not just a lot of transients from out of the city coming in?
Not yet. We just announced the partners today, so they could. We had them embargoed, so they couldn't talk to nobody in the city, because we didn't want anybody. We wanted to be able to wait for this announcement. But as they begin the hiring process, I think they've already talked about they're going to be looking for local hires, and obviously some of these kids are going to want their first jobs and things of that sort. And so that'll be in the public schools after they go to St. Aug first.
Older folk too. Retirement doesn't make it.
Huh?
Older folk too. Retirement doesn't make it.
Yeah, we'd love to hire some older folks too. Okay.
Okay, my second question is, there is a old law where a lot of our tax tourist dollars go to Baton Rouge and then they divvy it out.
Yeah.
How are you guys talking, like with our officials, in some kind of way educating the people of New Orleans so that they understand that when we have all of these festivals and no money.
Yeah.
But because an old law way back 18 somewhere, where our dollars are going to Baton Rouge, we need to cut that pipeline.
So that's part of what you got to talk to your politicians about. Those are structural changes that you're talking about having. Now, we will be putting in place tax increment financing, which helps keep some of the tax dollars into the project. But those are structural things that, we send these politicians to Baton Rouge not to just hang out. Let's put some things in motion. But we have to do it collectively. Right now it's divide and conquer. Look, New Orleans East Matters, ENONAC, they're organizations that we need to get behind so that we can put a legislative agenda and make sure that our city officials adhere to the legislative agenda that we set. Okay? So I appreciate these organizations because they set themselves up to represent us. So let's use them instead of us all just sitting there one-on-one saying, oh, woe is me. Now, together is how we win. Okay? Yeah, Mike, go ahead. Next question.
I want to add just a follow-up to the young lady's question about workforce development. Actually, EROS Studios has a program either underway or under development with Dillard University to provide workforce training and development for the movie industry. So the answer to that is yes. So I have a question from a neighbor in Oak Island, and they want to know, what is the plan for the Oak Island neighborhood?
to have fun and to have a good neighbor next to them. And look, they're going to have, I mean, Oak Island is going to be some of the most valuable property in New Orleans East real soon. Why? Because you're going to have Bayou Phoenix right next to you. And it's going to be a tremendous amenity for shopping, for all of the different things. So, I mean, I would just tell you, hold on to that property, you know what I mean, if I were you. But I'm not giving y'all real estate advice. But it's going to be exciting living next to this facility, in my opinion. And I'm right across the road from you. And mine ain't going nowhere, okay? Hey, introduce yourself. Who are you?
I live in Lake Willow.
Okay.
From the lower ninth ward. Before I leave, and we want to thank all of the officials, want to thank you guys. Well, congratulations to Henry Consulting. I saw the documentary where you're one of the fastest growing businesses in America with a footprint in multiple states, and his headquarters here. So we applaud you for that.
Appreciate that.
E. Ross, and we shouldn't hate on people here who are successful. We should try to make sure that they're most successful. E. Ross Studios, Alvin Ross is a blessing. He's our Tyler Perry. Tyler doesn't live here. He does.
That's
we need
right.
to make sure he's successful. Just a little education. How many people heard of the Lost Penny? The Lost Penny was taken from the citizens of New Orleans to create the Superdome and the arena and the complex that subsidizes the Bensons. They took that from us to create a multi-billion-dollar entity downtown. How many people are familiar with the River District? Well, they created the River District so that it could send percentages of the taxes into that district to support the economic development that goes in that district. Are we familiar with the subsidy that they took from the city when we lost the parking and concessions at the Superdome, where that money went to the Saints and to that area? Why doesn't any of it ever come to us? So there is a precedent for public money going to private interests as long as it's not New Orleans East. How you change that is that the officials have to support our money coming back to us out here, period.
Amen,
brother. So don't let anybody tell you we can't send money to subsidize millionaires and billionaires when that's the history of what New Orleans has done. The Economic Development Corridor on Taladano and Louisiana Avenue. You know how it works? The city paid for the infrastructure and they allowed the developers to take a penny to put back into that development. Mitch Landrieu didn't sign the TIF when it was created for the plaza. He didn't sign it. Those are historical facts. And when you're in church, you need to be honest. You don't need to play with God. So at some point, one of the largest ad valorem tax bases, at some point, one of the largest African American municipal district that would be the 7th largest city in the state, we need to get the same public investment that other parts do.
Councilman Oliver Thomas.
Councilman Thomas, thank you, sir. Hey, another question?
Yeah, good evening. My name is Jackie Edmond, and I do have a personal concern, and I think that I speak for the residents that live in Oak Island. When you drain the water that's adjacent to Bayou Phoenix, there's a lot of wildlife in there.
There is.
Where is the wildlife going to go when you start to drain? Because we cannot come in a neighborhood because we already see it.
Ma'am, I will tell you, and you've got our commitment, we will do everything we can and to do it in a controlled manner so that we mitigate the wildlife coming your direction. We have wranglers already there. We're going to have to deal with it. I think there are, our wrangler at the park says there are 27 alligators that live at the park right now. They got them numbered, named and numbered, all right? There are wild boar, there are snakes, there are all of this stuff. Our team has already talked about it to make sure that we don't send those into the neighborhood. We send them back out to the wildlife reserve. You know what I'm talking about. So, Bayou Sauvage. I went blank for a second there. But we know it's on our radar. Our team from TKT, part of when we get to the construction phase of this, will be helping to mitigate that into the neighborhoods. So you got our commitment that we're not just going to send this. I mean, things may happen, but we're going to do everything we can to make sure that that is minimized and that we send them towards Bayou Sauvage, which is a wildlife preserve, which is where they belong. But right now, Bayou Phoenix is a wildlife preserve too. So it's going to now become, a civilized area again. So, but we hear you, and you got our commitment. We won't be perfect, but we're going to do everything we can to make sure that it's something that you can be proud of, and you can say we did a good job at it.
Thank you. Last question. I really appreciate this wonderful presentation, but this is about my personal second time sitting here with a presentation of this nature. And as a resident of Oak Island for over 35 years, we are so disappointed in the promises that have been made. We've gotten presentations, we've gotten timelines, we've gotten promises, we've gotten dates. It'll be in 2 years. Next step will be in 6 months. Next step will be in 7 months. And now we're looking at 5 years. So I'm very hopeful that in 2 years, I'm not sitting back in the same seat with another wonderful presentation. But I thank you for your time, and we're hopeful, and whatever Oak Island can do, we are open to be supportive neighbors.
Thank you very much. And look, I understand your frustration. I'll call it frustration. What I will tell you is that the reason I'm more encouraged than anything is that we're now at a point where we can begin working at the speed of business and not the speed of government. Nothing against the government. They have a process and protocols they have to go through. But when you sign a lease with a government agency, when you do the things that we're doing, the facility condition assessment, the government agencies that are responsible for that, they have a process that the private sector doesn't have to go through. So now, as these private dollars will come online to get this project rolling, it does not then work at the speed of government. It will work at the speed of business, okay? So that's why we're excited about this and excited about getting the funding. We can get our project started without having the gap filled, but we got to have a commitment to have the gap filled, okay?
Hey.
Yeah, I know you're from somewhere.
Yeah, how you doing, man? Sidney Bartholomew. Look, I have a statement and a question. The statement is that I hope everyone here knows we're in a special election right now. I don't want to make this a rally or anything, but it is important. It is important that your representation in Baton Rouge is the right representation. I'm seeking the seat of State Senate District 3, and I've spoken with Troy about this project. You remember what I told you? You asked me what I said. Do you think I could support something like this? You remember what I told you?
You said not only
don't say it right.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
What
yes, he agreed. He used some more. He used a little more colorful language than that.
I said I would support the heaven out of it.
Yes,
but I didn't say heaven.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, let's call it heaven. Yeah.
Okay. I would support the heaven out of this project.
Yes.
So I just want to say publicly that that's the commitment that I want to make. That if the community decides that I should represent them at the state senate, that I will work very hard to get this money for this project, because I think this community needs this long overdue.
Thank you. Oh, now what's your question?
The question is, considering that there will be public funds, I'm asking that Bayou Phoenix consider and work through the decision and how you would allow, I know this is a for-profit venture, right?
Absolutely.
But how you could allow community members that may not be able to afford to use the facilities certain days and certain times that they can come in and utilize the park.
Yeah, in fact, we've already spoken to our partners about that. Andy, you want to talk to it a little bit? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, another great question, and that's something that we have.
This is not Andy, that's Justin. I'm sorry.
Justin here.
American
Come in contact
Resort.
with several of our water parks that we own. The example that I gave earlier about Epic Central and Epic Waters, it's a really great testament to that. So the city has set a threshold, and as an operator, we've agreed to that threshold for what residents of the city of Grand Prairie will pay for a water park ticket. So in speaking with Troy, I think there's very similar things that we'll do in terms of ticket prices for the water park.
Yeah, Troy, I also wanted to say in terms of community, what we have developed or in the process of developing is almost reverse engineering with the Legacy League. So in minor league baseball, you're pushing players up to the major leagues. And what we've been able to do is take players that have already been successful Hall of Famers like Tracy McGrady, Andrew Jones, who's been inducted into the Hall of Fame, will be initiated in just a few months, the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, Ralph Garr, Marquise Grissom. Those guys are now owners of their own teams in the Legacy League. The Legacy League is a compilation of high school students that have exhibited success on the field and off the field. It also consists of collegiate players. You'll notice a recession in minor league baseball where there's less teams. There's also very few minority owners, and the percentage of African Americans in Major League Baseball is at a very slow pace. In 1986, it was at over 20+%, and it's dropped down to more than half of that. And so this developmental league is a league that puts SEC players with SWAC players, bringing all of these guys together. These developmental leagues draw millions of people around the country, but most of the times in northeastern states. We're bringing that back home right here. So I heard someone ask about having involvement. We have interns, not just for players on the field, but also for people who want to work in press and media, food and beverage, anything to do with taking care of the field, coaching, umpiring, all aspects of the game. There's so many different aspects to the game of baseball. And so I wanted everybody to know that part of what we do is bring names that you see on TV that actually own teams. A lot of those guys are minorities, since there's a lack of minorities in ownership in professional sports. And so that's another element of what we're bringing. So to answer some of those questions, we develop from within and also from without throughout the SWAC, the SEC, and different Sun Belt conferences and such.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, Glenn, who's next? I know we're running. They're kicking us out at 8, so we don't have much time.
Good evening. My name is Gerald Wilson. Awesome presentation. I'm a native New Orleanian. I prepped at McDonough 35.
That's all right. Everybody couldn't get in St. Aug. I understand.
I'm a Southern University graduate.
Yes.
I'm the owner of Wilson Engineering and Construction Services. I'm a principal engineer. I am a DBE. We have PMPs as well. Do you already have a design team or a owner's rep available? You have a bunch of traffic generators, and I can foresee that you're going to need to upgrade the infrastructure. So I'm immediately thinking about roundabouts. Roundabouts are the most efficient intersection you can have. It's better than traffic signals. So there's a bunch of design work. Do you already have an engineering design team for a DBE like Wilson Engineering and Construction Services?
I'm glad you brought that up. We haven't selected any of our technical contractors yet. And let me tell you a very simple reason why, and I know we got to get out of here. Is until we got our experts on board, we didn't want to go pick anybody, right? Now that we've got our experts on board, they'll be working with us because there's going to be some players that they know that have done these things before, and they're going to want them to be part of this. So they've built 10 water parks, so we want them to build 11. But there's a local component to each one of those construction elements. Same with the master planning process, to make sure that movement flows inside the development successfully. We're going to need people, not only the experts, but we're also going to have a local element to that as well. So we have not hired one of them yet. What you'll find is my partners at TKTMJ, they'll be sort of riding herd on a lot of these technical activities. They'll be the primary, they're a partner in the deal, so they'll be overseeing a lot of this technical development that's going to go on, though.
Troy, we got
Yes.
we got 2 minutes left. So good. Three questions, quick ones.
Okay.
I just have two quick questions. The first one is, will you have a shuttle bus for those? I understand you're going to have handicap parking, but a shuttle bus to bring people back and forth to the facility. And the second question is, will you have green infrastructure on the property? Right, it's all about mitigating your businesses from storm water because of the storms and things like that. So we have that.
Yeah, we will. Look, I'm just dealing with this stormwater management stuff on my development on Shelf. You know, it's crazy. It costs us a ton of money to do that. But it's going to be a requirement, I know, of the city. So, yeah, we're going to have to do it. I'm not into the technical stuff, but the architects, once we get them on board, they're going to make sure that we got all of the code compliant stuff. But it's a mess. I had to build a 7 foot deep by 250 foot wide by 50 foot long by 50 foot wide, 250 feet long, 50 foot wide lake, right, under my concrete that I'm going to have to pour because of the stormwater management stuff. So it costs us a fortune, but yeah, I'm sure we're going to have to do it. Okay. Oh, the shuttle. We'll have ways and means to get from venue to venue, whether it's shuttles, whatever. Yes, we know that there's going to be people old like me and with young kids that's going to need a way to get around the venue. So, yeah.
Good evening. Good evening, District 100.
Good evening.
That's even better. Troy, let me first say thank you. Let me make sure this mic is working right.
Yeah, we hear you.
But guys, listen, we deserve this project. I'm going to say that simply again. New Orleans East, we deserve this project. Let me share a little history with you guys that you'll know about. Not too long ago, the New Orleans Plaza, that plaza site we all complain about, it used to create 26% of the city's sales tax revenue. New Orleans East only gets back now 4%. I'm going to say that again. 26%, we get back now 4%. We have to start getting our fair share of revenue. Where do we start? We start at a beautiful project like this. No longer can we accept our tax dollars. I live in the same neighborhood as Troy, so I understand. The same amount I paid for my house 20 years ago, my property value has increased $4,000. We don't deserve that, people. We deserve better. We deserve change. So I stand with you, brother. I stand with this project. We know what it takes to get it done. We have to demand that, and we have to go to Baton Rouge and fight for it. No longer can we sit and be friends and ask for favors, but we have to ask for what we deserve.
Hey, we go to Perdido Street too, not just Baton Rouge, Perdido Street too.
It's the state and the city has to provide our fair share. So I support this project.
Thank you very much.
Let's get to work.
Thank you very much. It's 8:01.
Last question.
Hey, I mean, we made a commitment to Franklin Avenue that we'd be out of here at 8 o'clock. I don't want to break our commitment, you know. But for you media types, our partners are going to be available for you to chat with them. Also, any of you guys you want to talk to some of our partners, they're here to help you get a better feeling for everything. But they're going to start turning off lights. Justin with Franklin Avenue going to start flashing and turning off lights soon. So thank y'all for coming out. God bless y'all, and let's make this happen.